This box right here. It contains over 1,000 fire ants. In this video, we are building them a brand new home and putting their hunting skills to the ultimate test. Ants HQ sent us everything we need to take care of this massive colony. They sent 2 outworlds. Basically, these are the arenas where the battles will take place. They also included different types of prey, food, and containers to keep them alive. But last, and most importantly, these 1,000 fire ants. If you aren't familiar with them, fire ants don't just bite like other ants. They have stingers. They leave a burning, painful sensation, which is exactly where they get their name. You're about to see the power of that sting firsthand. Just like always, I want to make the environment look natural. So I'm laying down some sand and adding rocks for them to climb and scout. Stage 1 is complete. Now, it's time to connect the tubes to the central hub. I'm slowly inserting them one by one. Unfortunately, a few ants get squished in the process. It's hard to avoid hurting a few during setup. But once connected, look at that. Thousands of ants rushing out instantly. It looks absolutely crazy. I'm actually lucky I didn't get stung. Hundreds of fire ants are flooding into the main tank, exploring their new territory. Before the first challenge, I gave them a day to settle in. Their first opponent? The flightless fruit fly. These guys are tiny, about the size of a single ant, but they are incredibly fast. Once I drop them into the arena, the ants attack immediately. But remember, these ants aren't just biting. They are using the powerful stinger in their tail to inject venom directly into the prey. This kills the shiwu, prey, much faster than a simple bite. In this close-up, you can see them holding the fly with their jaws while constantly stinging it to subdue it. Once it's down, they drag it back to the temporary nest to feed the colony. A few days later, I wanted to give them a sweet treat, some honey. This is great for their energy levels before the next fight. At first, only a few scouts are interested, but about 15 minutes later, look at that. A massive swarm surrounds the honey. It's not a deadly predator, but the scene still looks incredibly intense. A few days later, they've fully recovered. It's time for stage 2. This outworld looks exactly like the first one, but the challenge is much bigger. I've just added some sand because this is a transition phase before the main nest. I don't want to overcomplicate it yet. Now, I'm introducing the challenge, an isopod, or an armored bug. These things are tanks. Their defense is incredible. Because their backs are covered in hard plates, the ants can't attack from above. They have to come up with a plan. The isopod sees the ants and runs, but it's quickly surrounded. The ants climb all over it, trying to find a weak spot. After a while, they figure it out. The best strategy? Get underneath. They try to flip it over. Wait, before I could even start recording properly, the isopod crawled into the main activity area through the tube. That was a huge mistake. The ants found the perfect way to beat this beast. Zuan, drill, get underneath it. After trying to get under, they successfully flip it over, exposing its soft belly. Then, they drag it into the tube. Hundreds of ants swarm it, and they finish it off completely. By the next day, all that's left is an empty shell. They defeated the tank. A A few days later, it's time for the final part of the challenge, the ant nest. This is where the entire colony will eventually move to expand into thousands. Do you want to see a video of 5,000 ants fighting prey? Let me know. Before we let them in, we need to hydrate the nest. I'm injecting water into the sponge areas to raise the humidity. This creates the perfect conditions for eggs to hatch and keeps the ants comfortable. A few days after connecting the nest, I want to give them one last challenge. This will be the biggest and hardest one yet, a cricket. Once the cricket is in the outworld, it explores a bit and then enters the main arena. This is a big mistake. That's where all the ants are stationed. Because the cricket is so huge, most ants are hesitant to get close. They aren't sure how to take it down. Then, the cricket suddenly tries to hide inside the tube leading to the old nest. Bad move. There are still hundreds of ants in there. Some follow it in and try to bite, but the cricket turns around and charges back into the main arena. Now the ants jump on its legs and start tearing them off. You can see the cricket has already lost a leg. The ants tore it off and dragged it back to the nest. Over time, under hundreds of stings, the cricket starts to give up. The stings are slowly draining its life. You can see the ants holding on tight, biting and stinging repeatedly, injecting venom until it finally collapses. Despite the cricket fighting back with all its strength, the ants overcame the challenge. For the next few days, the ants feast on the cricket. It's the perfect meal to sustain them for a while. So we've given these ants every challenge and arena. We watched how they interact with a new environment and how they cooperate to hunt. But remember, this is just a small colony of 1,000 ants. In the future, I could observe a colony of 5,000 and see how they hunt even larger prey. If you want to see that, let me know in the comments. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss future videos. See you in the next one.